Now to the Niger Premier Football League. Two decisions have been made towards the club sides of the league as regards where they play. Talking about Niger Tornadoes FC and Shooting Stars Football Club. Their traditional home stadiums no longer meet league standards according to the league body. Bako, Kantagora Stadium, then of course in Minna, has been deemed unsuitable, with the club asked to choose between Rasheed Yekini Main Bowl in Ilorin or Jos Zaria Road Stadium. Now, Shooting Stars also is under the light. According to the release, they say Shooting Stars pitch fails to meet broadcast and pitch requirements, of course, with alternatives provided as the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta, Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos, and both clubs have until Monday late night to confirm their preferred venues, after which the NPFL will allocate a stadium. Now, the move follows stricter enforcement of stadium standards linked to TV broadcast agreements and player safety. What do you make of this release statements and, of course, directives from the league body?
Well, I think this is an excellent decision, but it's coming a bit late. Right from the start of the season, I begin to wonder who actually approved the Bako Kantagora Stadium. I've been there a couple of times when I was in Minna, and when I saw the renovation, I have friends there. They sent me pictures, and I asked for closer, detailed pictures. And I saw this, and I was like, wow. Oh, these guys are just preparing over cracks. There's no excellence in anything being done around this stadium. So I've been wondering who actually approved it in the first place. That's the first question. Now, for the one in Ibadan, I don't know, but that grass needs beyond water now. I think it needs life, and that is what the league body has seen. And I think it's right. It's the right time for them to just do these things, get these things right. And it is an eyesore. It is an eyesore at the moment, as we're seeing on the screen. It is an eyesore, and it's not even good for the image of the league. Not talk about the players. All
right, maybe I know our next story will lead us to more discussions on this surface, but the NFF, did ask for the match between Nigeria under 20 girls and, of course, Senegal to be moved from the Lekan Salami Stadium to the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta. And this morning, the Nigerian girls played against FC Robo Queens, a friendly match at that same venue. Now, let's talk about Remo Stars. Remo Stars also have been playing their games, their home matches at the Lekan Salami Stadium. And we also hear that on Monday, their game will also be played at the Lekan Salami Stadium. Is it not double standards? You're saying this team should look for another place, but meanwhile, the NFF still had their girls play this morning there. We also have Remo Stars hoping to play there on Monday. Why do we have things like this? And really, look at other pitches in Nigeria. How many states have a readily or fine surface for football to be played? There's Abia Warriors playing in Umuahia. The pitch is currently at a very poor state. Amongst other pitches in Nigeria.
Well, I think we have a infrastructural problem in the Nigerian football space. We've known this for a long period of time, and we just paper over cracks, and that's where the problem lies. We've been papering over cracks, and I don't think it's an issue when it comes to. I don't think it's a government problem now. I think it's a federation problem. That's the Nigerian Football Federation problem, because they are not even meant to play there in the first instance. But I think probably the Nigerian Football Federation just wants to give the fans something to view before they leave to the MKO Abiola Stadium in Abeokuta before that's ahead of the major game. That's why they played the friendly against Robo Queens at the stadium in Ibadan. Because for me, I felt definitely once the decision has been made for you to leave, you leave immediately and go and do your other trainings there. But at the end of the day, I think the NFF has the right answer to that. But for me, I would stick with the fact that I don't think that turf or the surface is good for any team. Now, let's be factual with ourselves here. We see what happens in Europe. We see even roadside pitches, very good, excellent grass quality. Let's not limit the fact that it has to be the top sides that have to play on good grasses as well, because it affects our next generation, the upcoming ones as well. So if we do not start talking about the bad pitches and call a spade and not something for just back inside.
Okay.
Then we'll continue to go on this conversation back and forth again, which I feel it's not good enough. So let's just call a spade a spade. Majority of our stadiums, majority of our pitches are bad. Majority of our grasses are bad, and that's the absolute truth. Let's forget the walls, the structures now. Let's look at the pitch itself. the grass itself, majority of our stadiums grasses are bad. See, the one on the screen now, it just looks like, you know, I didn't know the word to use, you know, to quantify that bad pitch, you know, we saw earlier on. So, and that's what happens in the majority of the stadiums we have. Look at the Bako Kantagora Stadium, for instance. You see some parts are green, some parts are brown. In fact, majority of the field is brown. And probably when they take pictures, they now edit it to make it look greenish. But that is not the situation. You look at the walls, you can see that the security, there's no way if a riot should break out in that stadium that fans will go out peacefully. There is no way it happens, because it's more or less like a very small place. If you've been there before, it's a small place. It's not something that should be even for, it's not even big enough for a state. It should be for like a secondary school. But at the end of the day, this is where Niger Tornadoes is playing, bringing, you know, major clubs come and play there. It's very bad. It's so sad to see, sincerely. It's so sad to see. But let's call it a spade. We have bad pitches, bad grasses, majorly in almost everywhere in our stadiums, even the ones that have been allowed by the NPFL. And it's sad to see at this point. All right,
sad to see at this point. Bako Kantagora Stadium right there in Minna. And of course, Lekan Salami Stadium. Well, a lot of persons have said that some of these stadia are managed by the state governments. But how much of investment is pumped into sports facilities in Nigeria? Most of the times we see some governors come out to dole out monies to club sides, but then they allow the facilities to, you know, perish when you look at, you know, not putting your monies in the right channels. And we hope that one day facilities will be developed. And also it prompts Nigeria to make bids for, you know, international events. And when the facilities are not there, you probably will not even get the hosting right for, you know, big events away from football. Other kind of events, of course, has to do with the world of sports. But let's move on now and talk some...